such an asshole.
Greetings from 100 plus degrees South Dakota here in the new Northern Command. That sucked landing. Holy cow. Like, oh, it's hotter here than Las Vegas. And we got a request. If you have a request, go to assholeconsulting.com. Strap yourselves in. This is a lengthy one here, guys. The first part is a good question. The rest of it's, my dad wasn't around. What do I do? Actually, his dad was around. First of all, thank you for reading my email. Sorry for any grammars or spelling mistakes. English is not my native language. Interestingly enough, people who tell me that have better English than the American natives. I don't mean American Indians. I mean like people born and raised here. In my free time, I mostly go to the gym three times a week. You do martial arts and read things on the internet or watch YouTubes, mostly about academics or finance. It's pretty much all I do right now. I also don't drink, smoke, or do drugs. Backstory, a little bit about myself. This is never a little bit. It's never a little bit. Since I was 15 years old, I've always been interested in entrepreneurship and finance. My interest in these areas allowed me to make important contacts at an early age. I graduated high school with below average grades. I decided to work my father's business that he had already built up. When I decided to work with my father, I was 18 years old. I had saved up less than $1,200, and I was really not happy at the time. The business. I don't know any young man who, once you graduate from high school, thinking like, "No, I'm on a college and things are going to be better." I don't know any 18-year, aside from that blip of that bubble that will be burst. I don't know any 18-year-old kid who's happy. But business was also not in the best place. I think we maybe had $20,000 in the bank. Fast forward 3 years. I have now saved up around $42,000 in no debt. Our business has $220,000 in reserves and no debt. We made a good name for ourselves. In the meantime, I have very good assignments. Other entrepreneurs from our city want to work with us. That's good. At the side, I finished a 4-year bachelor's degree in real estate management assistant. No. 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 Problems question, not all my problems. The 3 years were an extremely hard and lonely time for me. No. Okay. In your very, very short, so you're 21 now. In your very short, inexperienced life, yes, that was hard. Was it really hard? You have no clue what hard is. No clue. That's that on the hard scale of a 1 to 10. I guess it's the Moore scale. Moore scale. In life being hard, that's like a 3. All right. 1 is like, money's a little tight. 10 is cancer. You get in a crippling accident, bankruptcy. All right. Starvation, hunger. War, that's a 10. You're like at a 3, maybe a 2.5. And already and it's not necessarily your particular generation, you're just your average 21-year-old. Life sucks, it's not fun. Yeah, no shit, kid. It was really hard and things weren't easy. Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm 46, I'm aware. And lonely time for me, although I made an incredible amount of progress financially, personally, and professionally. Good. Unfortunately, my social life fell by the wayside. Just to give an example, I had worked in the company from Monday through Friday, had a second job in a nightclub on weekends, and aside, you also went to school. Okay, so you work full-time, went to school full-time. Big deal. I did that. It sucked. But it got me to where I was today. So there was not really much time for partying or excessive social life. I only took around $10,000 a year for over 3 years. Everything else stayed with the company. Money was left over. I invested mostly in cryptocurrency. So that's how I was able to save the $42,000. All right. So you got lucky. Okay. Let's be very clear. I don't care what they taught you about finance in your seminars. You got lucky. You don't have a skill. You got luck. Now your skill working for your dad, whatever business that might be, I don't know what it is. You might actually have some real skills there. But this, I bought Bitcoin at 2,000 and now it's worth 40 grand. Luck, not skill, luck. Not a job, not a profession, not a talent, not a skill. You got lucky. That's it. After all, I was very busy back then, neglected my social life. And then when the disease came, it almost killed my social life completely. Yeah, I could imagine. Also still lived at home, but now I'm planning to move out soon to go abroad. Now to my questions. This is a great question. I know I'm busting your balls, but I do that because you need to toughen up. Do you think the hardships were worth it? Sometimes I doubt and think maybe it would have been better to work somewhere where I would have had normal salary and more work colleagues. I miss the social side a lot. What is your opinion on that? All right. Couple things. One, you didn't miss out on anything. All right. You might have missed out on a handful of events that were good, but for every great or good event that occurred in my like late teens and early 20s, like from 21 to 18 to 21, 99 bad, boring, pointless time away, literally pissing away time experiences I endured. And you don't know any better because you're young. So you see it on TV, you hear all your friends, you got your hormones raging, you think like, oh my God, girls and partying and drinking. Although I don't know what the drinking age is in your country. But it's not worth it. It's a bubble, it's advertising, it's propaganda, it's BS. Right? So if you have gone to a house party or you went to a nightclub, and I think you must have. I mean, maybe not as much as you would like to. If you really sit and think about it, did you really have a good time at the house party getting shut down by a bunch of girls and maybe kind of getting successful with one? Did you enjoy going to a loud nightclub, getting filled full of smoke and yelling at girls and buying them drinks and maybe going home with a number or a text and then shit? I mean, did you really enjoy it? And chances are you didn't. It may have been novel. It may have been fun the first couple of times. Oh my God, I went to a concert. I saw the Leonard of the Skinnerd, front row seats. Nothing against Leonard Skinner, very talented bands. It's just I don't like being around all these people and the loudness. Like I can listen to them on my headphones while walking in a park. I don't need to see the Leonard of the Skinnerd right there. They're boomers. That's what they do. Or whatever songs that, oh, hey, that country song with country rock. Don't you know? That's one of their favorite ones, the Leonard of the Skinnerd. But when I was young and I was your age, I thought I got to go to the nightclubs and the bars and go play because that's where the girls are. This is fun. And then I look back at it and yeah, there were some fun times. But like I would have traded in if I could, and you don't know what night you're going to have a good night. I would have traded in 90% of the experience I had and just studied more or worked more or done something I would have liked to do. Maybe I don't know what I would have liked to do. Maybe bike more. I don't know. But I can almost guarantee you when you get older, you'll be like, thank God I didn't waste my time. And so you missed nothing in that regard. Another thing you're going to miss in your regard. You missed the social life of high school, okay? And go watch it. Go watch any one of my videos on high school. You lose all your friends from high school, and you would have lost them by now by the age of 21 or 22, most of them. And you can't go back. And as you age, you will find more and more people from your social life die off or leave for any one of numerous reasons. Mostly they move out of town. Okay, then you meet new people at college. Okay, fine. Those people stay in and out. They get a girlfriend and you're like, hey, where'd Frank go? I don't know. Oh, Frank got to cop a feel. Now Frank abandons his buddies. That's going to be, they will put the hose before the bros. I know it's supposed to be the other way around, but it's not. And then people just get a steady girl. They get married. They have kids. They move out. They join the military. They get a job overseas. They get a job 2 states over. All right. And so the other thing I'm trying to tell you is that there was no social life. There was none. House parties suck. Nightclubs suck. Chasing after girls definitely sucks, and that's a pain in the ass. When you capture one, 90% of the time that also sucks. Dating sucks. And then your social life was going to suck and decay. Oh, would you play hacky sack and talk in the college dorm rooms? you solve the world's problems because you think you graduate with a 4.0 on life on easy mode called high school, like you're some genius. I took my freshman psychology class, and if we just spent more of other people's money, then we'd have peace. You didn't miss out on anything. Nothing. And then now you graduate. It's not, and here's the other thing. It's not like your 20s are over. You're in your young 20s. You can still go party, go out, have fun. See if I'm wrong. But be honest with yourself. If you go to a nightclub, you go to a house party, you go on a date, you'd be like, ask yourself, are you having fun? Or is this painful or angstful? Are you nervous? Or is it just not enjoyable? And I think you should go out, because it's hard to tell someone, nah, you didn't miss out on anything. But you hadn't been there. You don't know for a fact. Go out now. Go party, have fun, get drunk, hit on girls, fail miserably. Go to nightclubs, yell at people, stand in lines, pay overpriced covered charge, then pay for the coat check. And you will find out, wow, I don't like this. And then you'll not have this regret anymore. You're like, oh, dang, I missed out on nothing. Why did I worry about that? Or you say, dang, I love this, but thank God you got like the next 9 years of your life before you're 30, and then go Troy Francis it up and enjoy it. But getting back, were the hardships worth it? Absolutely 100%. I'm going to tell you why. One, even though I pick on you, you're no pussy. You've actually worked hard. You've watched 12 O'Clock High with Gregory Peck. We need to know what a maximum effort is. And you figured out your maximum effort. You know how to support yourself probably, even though you live at home. Your budgets are good and your finances are good, even though you got lucky betting on crypto. You have learned things working with your dad, although I'd say your degree is completely worthless. You know about entrepreneurship. You know about sales. And you have a business reputation. Right? The average 21-year-old, again, I don't know what country you're from, but the average 21-year-old in the United States is completely unreliable, is still a child. They still live off of mommy and daddy or the government. They are not real men and women. You are. Now, you still rough around the edges and you're going to stumble, as every young man does, but you are way ahead of the game. You're more mature. You're way further down the path of figuring out who you are. You're way further down the path of figuring out what you're capable of. And that's going to serve you greatly. And it's the same thing that I went through. Work full-time school and full-time work. Or I did full-time school and full-time work. That made me quickly know, wow, I could pull off an amazing amount of stuff time-wise. Then the entrepreneurship with the dancing, I don't know if you want to consider that. That taught me a lot about business and entrepreneurship and to take risks and gambles. So by the time I was 25, I already had rental property. I had a little bit of side gig. I was teaching finance classes as well, and I had a day job. Gee, Clary, how'd you do it? I wasn't some beer-swilling pussy in college who lived off of mommy and daddy who paid for my fraternity dues and cell phone, and car and rent and tuition. I was a real man at 18, and so are you. And you don't appreciate it now, but you appreciate it down the road. Now, I think you have every right to take a break. I think you should go and go out there, find out what's out there, and then feel like there's nothing out here. But the hardships were absolutely worth it. Because you literally now know the difference between children and adults, even though they might be 18 years and older. Going through that, you absolutely can figure out who to trust, who not to trust, who's whining, who's complaining, who's a real man, who's a real woman that supports themselves. You're going to find out who's weak and strong when it comes to putting forth work. It's becoming a real independent man or woman and doing the very basic thing, and that is supporting themselves. And so that was absolutely you avoiding 3 years of mindless pissing away of time. And guys in the chat room, tell them in the comments, not the chat room, the comment section, tell them, would you go back? I bet you, if you could go back and just focus and get like, I don't know, a master's or a doctorate or learn how to be a mechanic instead of chasing girls and partying and drinking from your teens to your early 20s. Because I know I sure as hell would. I had my last girlfriend 3 years ago, and in between I had one night stand from time to time, but I'm already fed up with the one night stands. I just want to have a girlfriend again with whom I could share my life. Oh, that's nice. I've increased my net worth by more than 40 times. No, you gambled and got lucky. Okay, you got lucky. Since my separation from my ex-girlfriend, is that the reason why MGTOW red pill people say you shouldn't have a girlfriend in your 20s because you achieve a lot more when you're not distracted by women? Well, it's not only them. There was some guy that wrote a book about all the American tycoons, the barons, the captains of industry. And he drew 8 things they all had in common. And one of them, they all married early. And that's not just red pill or MGTOW guys saying that. That's true. That's true of anything. Video games can consume it. Religion can consume it. But if you don't have religion, video games, vice, drugs, anything, but women are the most sought after vice on the part of men. If you're not wasting your time on any of those things, you will be working on yourself or your career. And yes, absolutely. Absolutely. If you're not distracted by women, if you're not going out, if you're not wasting your money on her and throwing it in the S&P 500 index fund or investments or a down payment on a house, you get way further ahead. And these guys, these captains of industry, did not take off until they got married and they stopped chasing gals, among many other variables. Should I have taken more time off? No. Should I have had more fun and enjoyed my youth, or is the best yet to come? The best is yet to come. You don't want to be those. Here's the sign of a loser. Somebody who like their best time of their lives was what their parents said. High school is going to be the best time of your life. College is going to be the best time of your life. Like, well, your life really freaking sucks. That sucks. The best time of your life should be like having kids or falling in love with a family. That should be once you get out of prison, the prison called school. The best is yet to come. I mean, unless you get crippled, then no. But generally speaking, yes. You didn't miss out on much, and the best is yet to come. What should I do with my social life? I don't know. Don't ask me. What you should do with your social life, do what you want with your social. Go hang out. Do whatever hobbies you want. But the second you're not having fun or this isn't for me, don't do it. Do I miss out on something if I don't have a girlfriend at this age? No, just pain. Again, if you're in a traditional country, maybe. But generally speaking, if you're in a Western nation, you're not missing out on anything. Now, you might be missing out on some sex. You might miss out on some dates. But all in all, weighing it, for the most part, you're just missing out on headache, expenses, drama, emotional torture, or tortured emotions, I should say. Sometimes there's good things. I'm sure every guy had a girl or two that was great and they got away, or you just weren't ready at the time. Sometimes, but it's I've rarely, if ever, had euphoria. Like, oh my God, this is the most amazing. You're the center of my life now. A lot of that had to do with Maslow's hierarchy. And he's like, boy, eat or the center of my life with you, love. Gee, are you going to give me money? No. And you shouldn't even be worried about strategy. If girl comes along. I can't recommend Rich Cooper's book enough. The Unplugged Alpha, and even though you're not in the United States, go read my book, The Book of Numbers, to see just what a pissing away a time it is. Chasing girls. And then Rich Cooper's book, how going in women shouldn't factor into any of your life decisions. If a girl shows up, cool. If not, hit the road, lady. You just keep on doing your thing. So stop making it seem like a chore. Do I miss out on something if I have a girlfriend? Did I do the right thing so far? I would say so, yes. There are questions that I ask myself times, and you can share your opinions regarding. Moving abroad, question number 2. We've now moved on. My best friend only lives in a country for 2 years. He made me the offer to work with him and his company there because he needs someone who knows real estate well. You don't know that real estate market well. He's the only person that could kind of, okay, you didn't want me to mention your IQ. I would have good business income and the opportunity to live abroad, but I would have to leave my family business. My dad said he'd be okay with that, and they would support me in my decision if I decided to go there. I also have ownership in the business, so I could come back later and work there again. Go. Your dad loves you. I could tell that because he's like, go, son. I want you to go. He probably does want you to go, and I think you absolutely should go. Because here's where I have to put my money. It may not go this way, but here's what's going to happen. You're going to find out your buddy and his bid Naz doesn't make shit. You're not going to be friends, and you're going to learn not to take on business partners like that, or go work for your friend over in a foreign country. Yeah, man, I'm making totally 6 figs. It's like, why did Frank get arrested? I don't know. He didn't pay his taxes on those 6 figs. Now we got to go get him out of a Turkish jail. They didn't pay the lira enough. Do the Turks have lira anymore? Are they part of the euro now? What's your opinion on that? Go to the foreign country, stay in my home. Go overseas. That's exactly. Look, you worked hard enough now, man. All right, now go overseas, explore, find out, travel. Even if something would go wrong in the country, I could live there with my savings for 2 or 3 years without working a job. Well, what if crypto crashes? What do you mean you're not going to work a job? Go work for your buddy. You'll be there 3 months. You'll figure out whether that place is for you or not. You'll figure out whether the job is for you or not. And if it isn't, to go back to your dad, work the family business. In general, I can say that my biggest problem is really my social life and my job. I mostly deal with people between the ages of 30 and 60. People my age, I'm actually missing. So it might be a good decision to go overseas. After all, I'll meet some new people there. I agree. And then when you find out that most people your age are douchebags, you'll be like, God, where are the 62-year-old old men that are wise and know their shit? I also need friends who are interested in the same topics and think the same way like me, and I just don't find that kind of people in my hometown. IQ and mental health. You have an average IQ. However, there's some strange incidents that makes me think a lot. In high school, I got really bad grades. After school, I always watched university lectures on YouTube about topics that interested me, mostly economics and psychology. Well, that doesn't make you smart. One day, I came to the following realization. Why do I watch university lectures for hours, but my grades at school are so bad? Well, because you're lazy and you didn't put any effort in. And your mind was probably bored to death. Let's not forget that, because teachers suck. And why do the teachers still think I'm stupid, although I'm in my free time, I deal with things that are far above the level of things I learned in school? All right, look. You have a very average IQ. That's your intelligence. Unless you were lazy like you were in school and you didn't try hard. Because, see, I really don't believe in this. Oh, I only got a 102 IQ. It's like, no, you're lazy. I think most people, if they got off their ass, would score at least one standard deviation above the average IQ and get a 115. And you're like, oh, I sucked at school and got bad grades. Well, that's all an IQ test is. It's a test. You got a bad grade or an average grade. And just because you consume economics or psychology doesn't mean that you're actually intelligent. Like I watch or listen to podcasts about astronomy and physics. That doesn't mean I'm smart as Albert Einstein, because there's a lot of work that goes into that. Consuming podcasts is leisurely. That's when I realized that something was really wrong here. There are women who literally ask me on the first date which IQ I have and that they think I'm very smart. Maybe you just have knowledge, which is not intelligence, that you know things. There was a teacher at my school with who I had often talked about financial markets and who told me that I understood more than he himself and that he would hire me if he had a company. I once had a one-night stand where I spent my holidays in a foreign country, and the girl said to me that she thinks I'm smart and she could easily imagine me as a scientist, whatever that means. Last year, I talked to a lot of psychologists because I thought there was something wrong with me. At first, I thought I had compulsive disorder because the thoughts in my head were just racing. I felt like my head would explode every moment. In hindsight, I now understand I was probably just overworked and way too stressed out. Yeah, you were bored out of your mind. So I made a but also so I'm not sure. Following things psychologists said about intelligence, IQ, and OCCD. 1, you should really take an IQ test. What is your IQ? Psychologist 1. I also think you need a lot of mental stimulation. Your brain just needs something to work with. Psychologist 1. I don't understand why you got such bad grades in high school. You definitely have cognitive. Okay, well, the psychologist would know more than me. If you sat there and talked, you just were lazy and you didn't take your studies seriously. It's not complicated. I'm not sure if you really have obsessive compulsive, but I will write you a written diagnosis, of course. So you can get help. All right. You got diagnosed with it. All right. 2, you definitely have obsessive compulsive disorder. Psychologist 3, how can a guy as clever as you get such bad high school degree because you didn't try? Psychology, you definitely don't have obsessive compulsive disorder. Okay, so one says you did have it, the other one said maybe, and the third said you don't. Can we conclude that psychologists don't know jack shit? Okay, dude, you're in your own fucking head. Dude, who cares if you have it or not? Okay, you got it. What are you gonna do? It doesn't change your game plan. I'm gonna work and travel and figure out my life. You do got it. Oh, I guess you're gonna work and travel and figure out your life. I wouldn't even waste your time worrying about this stupid shit. People say I have anger issues. Can you believe that? People think I have anger issues. Doesn't matter if I do or don't. The to-do list, which is right here, is still the same. I was also able to determine the following attributes of gifted people in myself. I get absolutely obsessed with topics that interest me. That's good. I'm a very quiet person who thinks a lot. Sometimes people tell me they cannot follow my train of thought. I'm bored very fast. I don't get mentally stimulated. That was also the case when I was a kid. I don't want to claim I'm gifted in any way. I don't want to brag also or something like that. But since many of these attributes apply to me, the fact that people react a certain way to things that I say and that I also, God, Jesus Christ. Dude, I don't give a shit and neither should you. Who cares? Go live your life. Could also be possible that I'm wrong. These are just thoughts I want to share with you because you know about IQ. Mental illness, well, mental impairment would have an effect on IQ, whether you're bipolar or OCD or depressed, that doesn't affect IQ. You're lazy. That's what affected your IQ score. Your IQ is your IQ. It's whether you want to actually be serious about taking the test to figure out what it really is. Do you have any other advice for me on what I should do to improve my life? Stop caring what other people think. Don't worry about a social life. Just go do what you want to do. Travel overseas, work for your buddy, have no expectations, and knock it the fuck off about worrying about whether you got a mental disorder and what your IQ is. Okay? It doesn't matter. Please don't know what amount of money. They have questions. Please make sure you keep me anonymous. Country. Well, I changed some things so people won't be able to hear. Thank you very much. Best regards. There you go. Yeah, man. You're probably at minimum more active than average. Your mind might move faster. Additionally, very likely, you're probably smarter than average. You're just lazy and you didn't take your studies serious. And now you're trying to, but it doesn't matter what your IQ is. What do you do with your free time and your life? Do you invest it wisely? Do you work hard? And you do. It isn't about making money or being the smartest guy on the block. It's going and enjoying your life. And the best way to do that is to explore, travel, experiment, and figure things out. Maybe I get some exercise. I would get out of your own effing head and stop worrying about whether you have OCD or not. It doesn't matter. As long as it doesn't affect your life. And as you found out with psychologists, ain't nobody got the right idea. If you really want to talk to a psychologist that I trust, I would recommend Dr. David Maloney. You could find him at histherapist.com. Okay, he only specializes in men. He might have an insight. But, and you know, I'm not a psychologist. I can't diagnose these things. But I can tell you this. When it comes to action or life or improving your life, you need to take action. Regardless of what disabilities, physical or mental, you might have. It doesn't matter. It doesn't change. You got a certain amount of time. You've worked really hard. You put in your time. Now, what are you going to do with your best use of time is to go and explore and figure things out and do it guilt-free. Absolutely do it guilt-free. And then be incredibly thankful that your dad lets you live at home and he'll let you come back and run the business too. All right. 120 comments. We may have to do... Where's Alex? Is Alex in Mexico? Adriano Ramos. Good morning, Cappy. 8:41 a.m. here. Oh, yeah, you're over in Perth, aren't you? Oh, good. Yeah, you're literally you're just 1 hour off from directly across the thing. Oh, Wiz Division Productions, $5. Just bought every one of your books. Consider reparations on behalf of my weak cuddle millennial brethren. Hope it buys you a lot of Pokeball. It'll contribute. Unfortunately, there's no Pokeball in South Dakota, which is the title of my next book. No Pokeball in South Dakota. It'll become a next bestseller. Did you know I'm a regular guy for $5 in Canada? Cappy, you're back. You did it. I'm happy now. WB. What's WB? Your pal Troy Francis 47 is charging through Europe, dating live agent in the field. Cheers. Yeah, he's busy. I was busy too. I was busy not working. He's busy working. When he gets back, I'll tell him. Taekwondo for £2. Happy holidays differently. Workaholism it wasn't. I had to get through. Look, imagine if you had nothing on your to-do list. That's why I had to do a little bit of work here and there. I got to experiment. We got a new platform. I'm on TikTok, by the way. If you want to take a look at me, my handle is called Old Man Who Yells at Clouds. And the shtick there, it's not really shtick because I'm just an old guy and I complain about young people. And already I got them because TikTok skews young and I just want to get in there and stir the pot. And he's like, you don't know anything about teachers. Teaching is a real job. Like, hey, get the F out of here. I only had one video taken down so far, so that was good. And then I also am on Locals, aaronclary.locals.com if you watch it. So I did a little bit of alternative platforms. Flew in, now I'm catching back up. The goddamn bacon for $2.43. What do you miss not partying? Gonorrhea, no. Speaking of which, Terrence Pop, Joker, Blake, and Turd Flinging Monkey are all going to be on my show Sunday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to talk about moving to alternative platforms. Scrolling. Alex Bogey, $5. I think you need to party a little bit, maybe once a month to get at least a sense of how hard game is. Would have partied less if I had known better. Yeah, if I were to do it all over again, I would have only gone to First Avenue for like concerts and shows or industrial night. 2 for 1 night was pretty good. But although I would not have wasted a time in the bars. Johnny New York, 50 Mexican pesos. I'm 35, so happy I got the F out of my parents' basement and moved to Mexico. I'm finally living the life I want. I feel like I'm gaining a lot in life. Good. Traveling overseas. Edward Patton. I think Ed's a new guy. I haven't recognized Ed's donations before. $5. Enjoyed reading Black Man's Guide Out of Poverty, even though I grew up middle class. See, that's... Occasionally I'll get a black guy. Should I read this book? I'm like, are you poor? Like, no. I'm like, why would you read the book? My mom, I got your latest book. I'm like, you're the complete opposite of what that book was intended for. You're old, you're white, you're female. You're not rich, but you're like, what did I just like? Well, thank you. It was a great read. Thanks. I'm glad. Well, do you get up to middle class? See, that's the sequel to The Black Man's Guide Out of Poverty. Would be The Black Man's Guide Out of the Middle Class, and then The Black Man's Guide out of the upper middle income class to The Black Man's Guide Out of Rich as Fuck. That's going to be the sequel. See, and when I get to be rich as fuck, I'll let you guys know. Be a little bit hypocritical of me to claim to know how to get filthy rich. D. Blandview, $5. I recently sold my car to get out of debt and pocket several grand. Any advice to get another car when I have to return to work? Yes, by God, by golly. Here comes big-titted Molly. There's a book called Bachelor Pad Economics, the Financial Advice Bible for Men. And there's an entire chapter, chapter 9, Cars and Transportation. And here I clearly explain my patented 16 different secret herbs and spice recipe on how I get my cars. And it hasn't changed since I've written this book. So read through that, but go to Auto Trader, set your range for 2,000 miles, and spend hours, if not days, finding a cheap, low mileage car because it's worth your time to do it. I want to get to Alex's 100 Mexican. There we go. What are you down in Mexico? Alex Patino, our truck driving Latino agent in the field for 100 Mexican pesos. You got to get burned at least once. I still remember back in 2008, I spent a 4-day weekend drunk partying and gambling, and I came 4,000 short. I barely remember where all the money went. I don't even think he has to spend the money. I don't think he has to necessarily go party. I think just going out, doing what 20-something people do. You're going to go to a horse party. You're going to drink underage. Okay, you'll get hungover. You'll like, oh, that wasn't worth it. Maybe you spend time in detox, or maybe you even spend a little bit of time in jail because you got into fisticuffs, which isn't good for your career. You go to a nightclub. You approach a bunch of girls. You dance like a buffoon. Who I wish he didn't take his books down, but Roosh, you want to see a guy who spent a decade in that environment. Go read his Bang books if you can find a used copy. Like, and all I could think about, because I'm a little bit older than Roosh, like, how much time did this guy waste? I mean, he got laid, but I mean, like, oh God, I remember that. And then go out on dates with girls. Go on dates with many girls. And then find out they're, not 9 out of 10, 99 out of 100 ain't worth it. And that's not numbers I pulled out of my ass. That's numbers I experienced, and I wrote in it in the book of Numbers, analyzing the ROI of the pursuit of women. Here's another one. Just put those over. I don't even sleep on that bed. And then you should get a girlfriend. And he's got one night stands and all that, but you should get a girlfriend and you're like, well, that's a pain in the ass too. Or maybe more of a dull pain. There's no euphoria. There's no happiness. After that goes away after 2 months, it's like, you're kind of boring and you're getting fat. This is boring and dull. So I don't know if you got to go party $4,000 to do that. Oop. Where'd the Dapper Dan man go? We had him here. I'm a Dapper Dan man. 18.3, $5. Take it from someone who drank himself out of college. The girls and drunk friends aren't worth it. Yeah, it's not. I had some grand old times at the jazz clubs where there was dancing involved, but that was a hobby. And it was just a great way to skate and just, hey, you want to dance? Hey, you want to drink? Hey, you want to dance some more? Hey, you want to come back to my place and make bad decisions? Artemis Worm, $2. Ever read Author Schopenhauer? No, I have not. People said I should. I should read Nietzsche. I should do all these things. I don't have time. And I never come to the same conclusion they do anyway. It's not like I cripple my thinking or handicap my thinking to be politically correct. I really sit and think, okay, what is empiricism? What's happening here? Maybe when I'm old, I'll read other people's work. Sam Whiskey, coolest name in America. $10. Cappy is back from workcation. It was vacation. I watched golf for 3 whole hours. Didn't do nothing. Just watched golf for 3 whole hours. Then I sat by a pool for another 2 hours. Then I got in the pool for an hour. And then I went to a buddy's place and I stayed by a pool for an entire weekend. I did relax. Dominic Lauro, $7 Canadian dollars. I'm going to start requesting a resume from women to go on dates and reference number also of the previous exes. So you're going to categorize the exes? Hey, it would pique their interest. So I need to see your dating resume. That'd be, dude, Dominic, I think you actually hit on something here. I need to see your dating resume. Well, I got a dating. No. I want you to put together a dating resume as to why I should go out with you. I want to see your dating history, your work history, your whatever. Don't even narrow it down that much. Leave it pretty open. I'd like to see a dating resume. You can flirt that way. That's your dating resume. Well, you can mail mail your dating resume and cover letter to Dominic Lauro, Boobity Boppity 123 Main Street. And then if you're Canadian, you got all those weird. You can't be American. No, you got to have the world's weirdest zip codes. Can't just be 5 numbers. Hell no. They got 3 over here and letters, and another 3 letters and numbers over here. No one has any clue what's going on with the Canadian Post. Mookie, $5. I went to trade school in Arizona after high school. Had realized relations with 3 chicks in one night. No regret, no showers in between. Dude, I did. Not the same time, unfortunately, but within one period. Evening. I couldn't do 3, not in a night. Like a day, I'd have to wake up. I'm getting older too. Like, okay, you're the morning girl, you're the lunch girl, and you're the evening girl. Maybe 4 if there was a late night hot girl. Sam Whiskey again for $5. I enjoyed Curse with a High IQ and explained everything. Thanks. Oh, thank you. Yeah, if you guys are curious about IQ, maybe the client should go buy Curse of the High IQ and read it. Not that I'm second guessing myself, but I wish I maybe expanded it a bit, not just to solely focus on IQ, but that's what my thesis was. But to go into aberrant behavior, generally speaking, like introverts, they're usually quiet, not necessarily more intelligent, but they're more quiet. All right. Any kind of aberrant behavior that isn't, bro, let's eat some wings and drink some beers and watch the sports ball. Like anyone that falls out of that in whatever capacity or variable. Artemis Worm, $5 again. Reminds me of when my Chinese neighbors helped me when I was drunk, locked out of my apartment, and in my underwear on the night of St. Patrick's Day. You owe them. I hope you bought them a nice gift. Alex Bogey, $5. I disagree that Roosh wasted his time. I don't think he wasted his time. He was going down a path of figuring out himself. He wrote some great works, but I think he could have done half that and come to the same conclusions. He learned a lot and passed on his wisdom to us. He did not know moderation, which is necessary in all things. That's what I was saying. Dapper Dan Man, $5. Dating resume app. This could be a gold mine. Somebody run with it. I'm too busy with this stuff going on. I don't want to program or do anything hard. Swallow Blue. Our kind of East Coast guy agent in the field. You skipped my super chat. Also, after my class finished, going to start learning Java for a program to become an SDE by my Awesome. Awesome, Swallow. I'll probably do Miss Super Chats later. Minaj Pun, $2. Is Cappy still interested in ballroom or done? I'm kind of done. It's a good question. I'll tell you this. Pretty much any guy who goes to ballroom dance is just in it for the girls. Now I did appreciate the culture and the music and the dress of swing dancing and jazz. I did appreciate the music. I appreciated the martinis. I even like the salsa culture a little bit. It was a little bit different. But 80%, well, maybe not 80, 65, 70% of the reason I went and learned to dance was to get girls. And it's fun and exercise and all that. Most other guys, they're 100% for girls. And then once you get a girlfriend or once you've dated enough, or let's just put it this way. Once you either have a girlfriend or you've lost your interest in girls, or you're just like, whoa, you just get old. Like, I'm not doing that anymore. You just drop out of ballroom dancing because it's like, nah, I got the girl, or I know. Okay. No. Hey, MacGyver's on. Once you like, hey, Hogan's Heroes is on, and you're like, I don't want to. It becomes a chore. They're like, yeah, this is. Girls are completely different. They're like, it's just for fun. I'm not here to meet it. Okay, all right, yeah, sure. Okay, go away. And now I can't imagine with modern day woke sensibilities, how dangerous and tiring that is. You should dance with girls for the sake of dance. They got pissed. They're like, no, I don't dance with fat chicks. So people got pissed. You're just here to get laid. Yes, you got it. You win the grand prize. Sherlock Holmes. All right, there you guys go. I did miss another super chat from Dre, so I'll go back. And that was the only asshole consulting thing we had today. All right, I'll see you guys later. Toodles.